Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin Hample. For my final project, I decided to look into the struggles foreign-born residents face while learning English as a second language. Some of these obstacles or barriers might have to do with pronunciation, vocabulary, speaking in public, lack of confidence, or just their lack of understanding of the English language itself. For this project, I decided to participate in the Central Elementary School, formerly Central Elementary School, now it's the Community Education Center here in Winona, Minnesota. I had prior experience dealing with them a little bit last year with my mother-in-law coming to visit us from China for 6 months. She had prior English years ago. She's actually a retired judge, and she had a couple cases over the years where she had to deal a little bit with English, but they were often few and far between, so she basically would forget any of her prior knowledge. She would participate in the class here in Winona about 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, and this lasted about 1.5 to 2 months. With my participation in the class, the first thing I realized when I showed up was how slow the teacher was explaining and talking to the students. I guess that was like a major obstacle a lot of the kids had to deal with. It was easy for them to fall behind or get frustrated because of the speed the teacher was teaching it. This is, the students would have to, you need to speak really slowly to a lot of these students because they would then try to relate our words with theirs and connect the two to try to get the meaning out of it in their way. The teacher told me that our brains are hardwired into naturally trying to connect certain words and certain meanings from two different languages to try to get that meaning. Another areas that I found were pretty challenging for the students was slang terms. Slang terms were a major obstacle for a lot of the students. One example I have would be the word dump. We would typically relate dump as dumping a load of dirt, or you can even be inside of a building and say this building looks like a dump. They're both spelt the same, they both look the same, but they have two totally different meanings. So this can be a major obstacle for a lot of the students, I found out. Confidence was another big problem with a lot of the students. I found it's a lot easier to talk with students, and I heard it's a lot easier to talk with students who, even if they make a lot of mistakes but they're confident in themselves, it's easier to talk with them because they feel a lot more relaxed. But then when you deal with students who make few mistakes but lack confidence, it can be a more of a challenge to talk and communicate with them. Some of the biggest hurdles I faced while learning English had to do with pitch and tone. You can have one word but with 3 different pitches, and it would change that word into 3 different meanings. So that was a big challenge for me because I can just slightly tell the difference between one pitch and the next. For my participation in the class here in Winona, I was only able to spend about 9 hours because I caught the tail end of the course. So they actually wrapped up all the courses here, then it's going to pick back up in September. So because of that, my wife had an idea of inviting some of the students to our house for dinner, and we also invited them to the Ocean Sushi restaurant here in Winona because my wife became good friends with the owner and his wife. So we eventually took them there, and then we had a couple meetings and talked about their barriers and their life and experiences and what their goals are. So that was kind of exciting. The people who came with us to the restaurant was from Nepal, Japan, or Nepal, Vietnam, and China, I believe, were the 3 that ended up coming. Trying to think what else. So yeah, actually, after I wrapped up my project, I seemed like I had a lot better understanding of what these barriers were and how important confidence is, and grammar and slang terms, and how they can negatively affect the outcome of people's attempt to learn English as a second language. So every student has their own style of learning, and that is another key part of somebody's success in their pursuit of the English language as a foreigner. Thank you. Bye.